All right, guys, thank you for joining me again. Alex, how many booster shots to be safe? Who knows? They're going to give you an infinite number. There's no such thing. Actually, they're going to give you an infinite number. Is what they're going to do. Um, and they're going to continue to fucking go ahead with this bullshit. And Broke Stacker says, I got my 12th booster today. You'd be dead right now if you had your 12th booster today. But anyway, thank you, Gene, for the 5x5. Let's get it started. Oh, well, man, this fucking getting old shit is getting old, guys. Getting old is getting old. So tonight we are going to talk about. Let's see. Yeah, fuck it, let's go off. Kill that. Nope. No, not yet. Do that later. No, they wanted me to update. So tonight, guys, we're going to talk about the UK being in trouble. Prime Minister Liz Truss resigned Thursday, just just after being in office for 6 weeks, following a disastrous and rapidly reversing economic plans that sent the pound plunging and her government into chaos. The US dollar, as of right now, is stronger than the British pound. I think it's stronger than the British pound. No, a day or two ago it was after this happened. Uh, Now, Liz Truss is not the first person to leave early, though she resigned after 44 days. George Cannon uh, lasted 119 days in the early 19th century. Not sure what year. Liz Truss was appointed her position by Queen Elizabeth II, September 6th, and today she handed in her resignation. Uh, they will have a leadership election to take place over the next 7 days. There are a lot of contenders. They mentioned Boris Johnson again. I don't think he's going to uh, throw his hat in the ring, but they brought up his name in the media. So who knows? I would be really shocked if Boris Johnson came back. Boba World. Yes, thank you for bringing that up. You're absolutely right. So that's what I was thinking when I read all of this nonsense that was going on over it. And I'm like, oh shit. The pro globalist party was the party that pushed her out. There's two articles I read, and another article said it was another party that pushed her out. But pro globalist guys, it's a party that wants complete control, for lack of a better term or saying rather. And they pushed her out because she wanted to, and I thought this was interesting. She wanted to. She was looking to implement major tax cuts on people of higher earning with highest earnings. Now, highest earnings in the UK is anything over $168,000 a year. She wanted them to. She wanted to eliminate the top tax bracket, bring them down, and cut their taxes. That was one of the things that threw that country into a tizzy and turned everybody against her. Now, Trust isn't the financial chancellor, if you will. It's actually a guy named Kwasi Karch, uh, Kawartan, sorry, who resigned last week himself. His successor immediately got into office after he resigned and reversed the tax cuts that were promised, and that also damaged Trust and her authority, ultimately leaving her to leave. Now, Liz Truss, and Cartwench, Quasi, try to repair the damage by first reversing an unpopular move to abolish the 45% rate of income for higher earning um, UKs, UKians, United Kingdomans, Londons, British. Sorry. So that was the first step. They try to reverse that, and the thing is, guys, I'm a little confused by this because when you write this on paper and you sit there and you go, man, we're going to have a tax break for the rich by 45%. How does that, when you look at it on the paper and you go, oh, this is good. You don't have anybody else proofread this shit that you like, that they didn't look at it and go, this is a bad idea. Anyway, they also wanted to freeze corporation taxes next year. I don't know how long, but next year they wanted to freeze corporation taxes. Dakota Hayes. I'm tired. I am tired today. I don't know why, but I'm like, I just want to go to sleep right now. So that's why I said this old shit's getting old. Anyway, guys. So the finance minister. That's what the guy's title is. Finance minister is Kwasi Cartwright. Cartwright. He announced a 45 billion pound unfunded tax cut, which is 48 billion US dollars, which saw the government's cost of borrowing spiral and emergency interventions from the Central Bank of England and a reprimand from the International Monetary Fund. So after they announced this unfunded tax cut, they went into a fucking tizzy, and that brought the uh, British pound down. So uh, Kawartin, sorry, they said was fired, but in another article it said he resigned. So I don't know what the fuck they're saying or they're talking about. So this portion, this paragraph said he was fired, and his successor Jeremy Hunt set to reverse all the controversial policies. Despite the U-turn, Britain is still coping with the fallout of this plan, and with record inflation and increased mortgage rates, this pulled the a big one on them. The Bank of England, the UK's central bank, made its own emergency intervention Wednesday, announcing it would buy up as much government debt as needed in an effort to restore stability. Huh. To buy up the government debt as needed. So that now the government owes the bank? No good. Anyway, ruling Conservative Party aims to choose her successor October 28th. She will stay as the prime minister until then. So, in a nutshell, guys, they will look. Listen, she was going to get pushed out regardless. This didn't seem like something to go into a tizzy about. All he had to say was, "All right, this is bad. We're not following that," and that's that. But the fact that the British pound dropped, the Conservative Party's yelling at her, the pro-globalist party or pro-globalists were fucking ripping her a new one. Just didn't make sense that they went into a tizzy over this. Nonetheless, it did affect the stock markets over in the UK. It did affect the British pound, and Bank of England was going to step in and buy government debt. I don't know. That sounds like a globalist move. A bank buying up a country's debt. Now, we do have banks that do that here and in other countries as well. But once the bank buys your debt, you are in their back pocket for whatever they want. So maybe I'm understanding that wrong, but that's what I read. Yeah, Mrs. John Johnson. They have been playing Monopoly for very years, and it took up with them. Yes, Aaron Thompson. So that's what a lot of people kept saying. I didn't look into that far, but everybody who stood against her is in the World Economic Forum. Biden made a fucking saying that it was a bad idea. Obviously, he's with the World Economic Forum. A couple of other people who went after her in the Globalist Party are all in the World Economic Forum, or part of it, or back it. She was in it, but what she was going to do was going against their plan. So again, was she really, or like you said, did she realize the plan, and that's why she fucking made that drastic move? But guess what, guys? She is out, and her political career is toast. So she can't go. She can't get a job anywhere. I don't even think she can get a job at a fucking law firm at this point, because she fucking turned her career into a radioactive fucking uh, iodine. I mean, like, it's fucking, or isotope rather. Sorry, because it's bad now for her. It's bad, and the guy she fired, they were best friends. I read that in another article. They were good friends, so that friendship has got to be over, or maybe she didn't fire him. Maybe he did step down. Whatever. Dovely. Yeah, I thought she was too. I mean, listen, maybe she was. Listen, guys, you got to understand. Not everybody in the World Economic Forum is going to go along with the plan 100%. These people might go along with the plan until they see some shit they don't like, and they're like, "Nope, we're not doing this." It could be that. But again, what she was doing was going against their plan. But again, guys, they have power because what did they do? They ran her right the fuck out of office. She's out. You know what I mean? She's in power now until they find her replacement. But I think that's a bad sign. So I'm definitely going to do more research and dive deeper into this to see where this goes. But for right now, England is not looking good. Well, not that it's not looking good. They reversed their problem and they got rid of their problem. So maybe this will clean it up for them. But anyway, with that being said, guys, we're gonna move on to the next topic real quick because I want to get the fuck off of here. Anyway, arm ticket. The vaccine is going to. The CDC wants to make this current arm ticket part of kids' immunizations to go to school. So for kids to go to school, Star Fury, she was probably like, yeah, she was probably, I'm not eating bugs and I'm not eating people and I do not want synthetic meat. Fuck you guys. And that's why she made that fucking, uh, that insanely psychotic move, according to them. So, guys, what they want to do now is they want for kids to go to school, they're going to have to take the arm ticket. That is something they're suggesting. Can they get it done? Probably so. It's the CDC. They do what they want. But parents have to fight tooth and nail. Yes. Now, I don't know, guys, if this includes like, I don't know if they're going to start it with smaller kids, which it still doesn't matter, and move up, or all kids going to have to take it. Because the wife and I had already discussed this. We already had this discussion. If it comes down to it, they're not taking it. Now, can they force it upon other states? Probably not. But they can suggest it. If I'm not mistaken, they don't have the power to tell schools they have to do it. A lot of schools took the suggestion in, and that's what it was. So, CDC actually made a comment, and this is what I don't understand because Epoch Times or Epic Times said that the CDC was considering it, but the CDC made a response to what the fuck's his name? Ted Carlson? Is it Ted Carlson, the guy on fucking Fox News or whatever it is? I think it's Ted Carlson. Yeah. So anyway, he made a statement about the CDC doing this. The CDC came out with a rebuttal saying that we can't just do this. We can't make this part of immunization. We got to go through steps or some shit. But then Epic Times later today stated that they were going to do it. Now, guys, I know a lot of you are going to be put in a rock and a hard place. Tucker Carlson, thank you. What did I say? Ben Carlson? Whatever. Or Ted Carlson. That's what I said. Right. Tucker Carlson. Same thing. Tucker, Ted, fucking white dude and fucking TVs. All the same. So anyway, after Tucker Carlson made that comment, CDC responded saying they couldn't do it. So whatever. Here's the problem, guys. A lot of people are going to be between a rock and a hard place. A lot of people who are like, my kid is not taking this shit. I don't give a fuck what you say. That's going to be hard because if you have to go to work, what are you going to do? You can't, I don't know, man. You can't just, just homeschool the kid because then you got to go to work. So something's going to give. Now, I would go on, I would admit this on here, but I would say that if you had to do that for the kids, guys, fuck it, forge it. As simple as that. That's as simple as it gets. Social dilemma. Yes, the U.S. dropped COVID mandates, but the CDC is talking about the arm ticket being part of the immunization. So, I was thinking the same thing when I saw that. I'm like, but wait a minute. Most mandates, not all, but most mandates are dead. Nobody's fucking requiring X, Y, and Z. Why the fuck's the CDC doing this? Well, there was somebody, shit, I wish I could remember the name. It's a lady I follow on Instagram. She had a guest on that says that we are in the depopulation phase of the World Economic Forum. And it's funny because before I was working on a video for that because of all the people we're seeing that are passing away. You can't help to think, I'm not saying that it is, but you can't help to think that the depopulation, and actually I did a video on it, that the depopulation has started. This lady said it and she brought out a couple of good points I didn't bring up in my video. And I was like, So they're in. We are in the middle of this shit, and we're worried about Ukraine and Russia. And now I know why. Now I know why for all the bullshit. Because while this is going on, while people are passing away left and right, we're staring at fucking other countries and wagging our fingers instead of turning to this country, ripping politicians out of office and telling them to make this right. And not even telling them to make this right, forcing them to make it right. We shouldn't be telling politicians shit. We should be forcing them to do it. That's a different story. Mouse in the house, just follow the money, obviously. Um, Milano, if I said that right, yeah. Alex Jones. Listen, Alex Jones is toast, man. Toast. I can't. He has, and I think he said that he had to shut down his broadcast and all that shit. That had to be part of his deal. But $1 billion, he's worth that much. I didn't know Alex Jones was worth that much. I mean, I thought they could only take from you what you're worth. So he has to be worth over $1 billion for them to fucking take it. And I didn't think he was. But nonetheless, he has to pay those families that much money, and he's shutting down the fucking Infowars. He's done. There's nowhere this guy is going to be able to work ever again. Now he can start up another company, switch the LLC, start a new LLC, uh, switch the LLC, start a new business, and go that route. He might be able to make a living off of that, but who knows, man? Grateful Prep, he's not worth that much. Right. So if he isn't worth that much, then what the fuck? He will win on the appeal. He probably will. At least he will get the amount that he has to pay drop down dramatically. $1 billion. Because I'm like, again, maybe I misunderstood, but I thought they could only take from you what you're worth. And when they said $1 billion, I was like, he's worth that much? I'm like, am I missing something here? Maybe I should start yelling into a mic and have a vein pop out of my head and start screaming about incoherent shit. Listen, some of the things he has said, he was spot on, but I couldn't listen to the guy. The guy was always fucking yelling and screaming and carrying on, bleeding from the nose every time he got fucking excited over some shit. He would get excited over like bullshit. He'd be like, they messed up my cheeseburgers at Five Guys, and he starts screaming and yelling. I'm like, okay, I'm not listening to this dude, you know? Billion, $1 billion is nickels and dimes to who? The fuck out of here. I'd love $1 billion. But yeah, listen, guys. The guy's toast. He ain't coming back from that. Again, unless he does start something else. Yeah, you already do. I don't yell into the mic. Frogs are turning gay. Uh huh. um. Yeah, I'm retarded. No, I listen. I feel bad for the. You know what? I don't feel bad for him. When he got hit with the $1 billion fine, if you will. I didn't feel bad for him uh, because it caught up with him. Listen, guys, some of the bullshit he said was bullshit. Some of the things he said were true, but you have to cross your T's and dot your I's when you're talking about certain things, especially when you talk about kids dying. You have to make sure you got it fucking all correct, right? And obviously, once they showed him those pictures, which I know they did, that's why he came around. When they showed him those pictures, he was like, "Well, I apologize for saying that, but not the other shit." And I don't know what the other shit was. All right, that's just so not a question, but something. Now, Al Bundy, yes, this is all a distraction. I mean, not listen. The Infowars shit's not a distraction. Most of America didn't give a fuck. The only people who cared are people in this community and the parents that sued him. That's all that cares. Yeah, William Ashley. He says, talk about reaching retirement age, being pumped up full of fountain of manly vitality. Sorry, and getting your wallet mugged. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, he got the shit taken from him. He was making, he was finally getting to that point, and it's all gone, just like that. You just got to be fucking careful. And it was Catherine. You're right. It was a kangaroo court because listen, Alex Jones is the example. And I think they went too high in that example because hitting him with $1 billion, I'd have laughed in court. I'm like, I don't even have that. So if I don't have that, where are you going to get this money from? You cannot get blood from a rock, from a stone. Sorry. So again, it was bullshit. I do believe that. Okay, Ladybug. I'm going to address that real quick because I'm doing a video on it. Or rather, I did a video on the gain of function research in the Boston lab. I'm on it. I'm going to tell you what it is. Just give me 2 seconds to find my notes on it because I wrote the notes down to do the video. I get the video done and I look at it and I'm like, ugh. And so I had to redo the video. And I hate when it happens. Doesn't happen often, but I hate when it happens. It's not here. Oh wait, I know why it's not here. It's on the Angry Pepper. Ah, here we go. All right. So let's talk. I should have talked about this on the Angry Pepper, but we'll talk about this tonight. The new COVID strain, guys. It's not a new COVID strain. All right. Boston University was said to have created a new strain that had an 80% mortality rate. All right. Here's the problem, guys, with the 80% mortality rate. It was bullshit. It was 80% mortality rate in the mice, the lab mice. Before I get to the rest of this, guys, lab mice are inherently weaker in nature. They have a weaker immune system. They're weak just all the way around. Lab mice cannot survive outside of the lab that they're in. They are grown germ free. They're grown away from germs. They're isolated. So with that, guys, they are susceptible to anything and everything. And I only know this about mice because my son's mother is a scientist, right? And she deals with these mice, if you will. Oh, so anyway, um, if I see a mouse, Frazier said if I see a mouse that has 100% fatality rate, it will die. Yes. Yes. So again, let me finish talking about it, and then we'll get to the accusations, if you will. So Boston University, guys, is refuting the series of misleading claims about the research at the university's National Emerging Infectious Disease Laboratory. Uh, the study was set out to examine a spike protein from the Omicron variant, and the researchers were interested in comparing the variant with the original virus known as the Washington strain. They wanted to find out if it was truly less virulent, and more importantly, they were interested in what part of the virus dictates how serious a person is going to get sick. All right. So that's what the research was. Now, a lot of people took the 80% mortality rate and they ran with it. They heard sort of spike protein and they ran with it. Now, this research, guys, is not a gain of function research, meaning it did not amplify the SARS-CoV-2 virus strain, and it didn't make it more dangerous. In fact, they made it less uh, dangerous by replicating it. They replicated it and it made it less dangerous. The animal models, in particular, are highly susceptible. So the mice are highly susceptible to anything, guys. If you were to sneeze on these mice, they would get sick. Obviously, the protein virus that was introduced to that group died, and there was another group that was introduced, the Omicron, the full Omicron virus, if you will. They got sick. Those that were introduced with the protein of the Omicron, spike protein, sorry, they died. But it was only 80% of them, not 100%. All right. So, again, guys, a lot of shit was taken out of context. These mice are grown in a germ-free laboratory. Again, you so much as fucking chew or sneeze on them, they're dead. Were these mice with? No. So, yes, Carl Miller, the human mice DNA thing, that's different. And I think those mice are used in other test subjects. These mice weren't. Those mice weren't using this. These are just regular germ-free mice, if you will. Kathleen, and yes, if they did gain a function, absolutely, they should go to jail, but they won't. Letty's baby. I did the first of all, I did the research on it. I actually read the report from the lab, the actual report. There was no humanized mice. It wasn't a thing. Sorry. I know that a lot of you want to believe that. By all means, believe what you want, but that is not the case. All right. And to boot, the rebuttal article went into, which I couldn't believe they did this. They went into the ins and outs of their laboratory. We have double doors, trip doors. We have this protocol, that protocol. So in the article, guys, they were fucking pissed. The scientists that did this, they were actually pissed. They were, the guy all but said, "We're not Fauci. We're just trying to fucking figure out why certain people get sick and why other people don't." Right? So that's what this research is. Now, am I going to exclude the fact that some laboratory somewhere in the world is doing some kind of gain of function research? Absolutely, they are. There's somebody out there right now trying to strengthen this thing to make it fucking, a higher mortality rate. But this wasn't the lab that was doing it. And this lab was in the Boston University. Most of the times, guys, labs that do this gain of function research, they are not in a facility like Boston University. They're just not. And Ladybug, I can't buy Zetine, Ladybug. They were in a level 3 laboratory, not a level 4. The level 4s are for actually level 4's laboratories are hard to build. That's one. Two, the funding for them are extremely hard. And usually level 4 are normally, not all the times, but normally military grade um, laboratories. And usually the military requests that, right? Or a government agency. A private agency or a private place like Boston University, they're not building a level 4 lab. They can't afford it. Level 4 labs is extremely, extremely expensive. Again, they lie to us all. I'm horrified. I used to work there. I used to work the biohazard at a very large university. Which university? In the South. Okay. They lied to us all. Now, listen, guys. That's not to say that Boston University is not lying about something. But according to the rebuttal article from the head guy in Boston, not the head guy that runs the University National Emergent Infectious Disease Laboratory in Boston University, he says something completely different. Now, normally people keep their mouths shut. Gain of function research, guys, are not done in places like this. They're done in black sites. They're done in sites that no one knows. You can't see it. And even if it's there, you don't know what it is. They're not doing it in the fucking famous Boston University. So Anne Marie, they're like I said, they're trying to find out why certain people get sick and why others don't. Now I'm gonna make this. It's not a blanket statement, but I'm gonna make this statement. When people got sick with Mister 19, you notice that people had different ailments when they got sick, right? Some people got a chest cold, other people were just sneezing, and some people were knocking on death's door. Me myself, I'm curious as to why so many people fluctuated that way. Why one person was fine and another person was on a ventilator. Now we all know, for the most part, that it was man-made. We all know that. We all know that this wasn't the thing they wanted to get out because they wanted something stronger. Now they didn't make, they didn't amplify the virus. That's the most important thing. That's what makes it uh, gain of function, guys. Gain of function means they amplify whatever disease it is. They didn't amplify it. So and listen, we have to take some shit for what it is, and another things we got to look at with a raised eyebrow. I'm looking at this, and after reading both their actual finding and the rebuttal article, I'm like, all right, maybe there was nothing to it. Pre-existing ailments. Vitamin D deficiency, yes. Pre-existing ailments. There was a lot of shit that went around, but some people were seemingly fine, and like healthy athletes, and they got it and they were dead. But then again, look how many people got the arm ticket and are passing away, right? So you must be hyped. But Yeah, I listen. Here's a problem, Anne Marie. You said they should leave it alone. Scientists don't know how to leave shit alone. They don't know how to leave anything alone. Did he get it? Uh, Ladybug. It did not get amplified, and they didn't mix the. That's the problem. They didn't mix the original strain with Omicron. They mixed the spike protein, and they introduced the spike protein to the mice. So they weren't mixing anything. Um, they were trying to see how it reacted as opposed to the Washington strain. But they don't like the Washington strain protein. Sorry, spike protein reacted differently than the spike protein from the Omicron variant. That's what they were trying to make the correlation as to why. Like I said, in they were interested in what part of the virus dictates how serious a person's going to get sick. That's what they were interested in. And again, not amplified, and they wanted to see how truly virulent the spike protein is. That's what it comes down to. But anyway, guys, I just wanted to clear that up. Again, that's I'm taking that for what it is. That doesn't mean I'm discounting it entirely. But the one thing I know about gain of function research, guys, is you do not do it in a known laboratory like Boston University, Columbia University, Harvard, Yale. You don't do it at places like that. You do it off black sites, and you normally do gain of function in other countries. Normally, right? Not saying that they do it all the time, but that's normally how it operates. Um, and there's always one person that wants to do a little more than they're supposed to. Barbara Campbell, the rats in New York City, they're starting a colony of their own. I don't know how to put it, but the rat situation in the city is fucking out of control. The rat situation, you know what? I mean, I don't want to do a video on it, but if I get a chance to, I might. I'll show you how bad it is in certain spots. I'll video it. I'll show you how bad it could be. It's pretty bad. It's getting out of control, the rat situation, because during COVID, the pest control guys weren't working. The pest control guys refused to go into a lot of places. They were hiding behind that bullshit, by the way. And some guys did, a lot of guys didn't. So the rat situation is pretty fucking bad. It's out of control. Like I can go downstairs right now, probably in the back here, and if it's rat city, you know. Listen, I remember I was a fireman, and this is before. This is right before the pandemic. Me and another fireman were looking for the emergency shut off for an elevator. So we go to the back alleyway, and it's fucking crawling with rats. I mean, it looked like a sea of rats. And we had to get between the street and the door that was in the back fucking alleyway. And I'm like, what the fuck? And me and him, we hate fucking rats. Hate them. We're sitting there like, fuck it. We might as well. So anyway, with that, we make our way through, and if there was a camera back there, you'd have probably heard us screaming like bitches. But we're kicking these things as we're trying to make our way to the elevator room. Now, the one thing I'm worried about is the fucking rat crawling up my fucking pants leg, because I would have fucking flipped out at that point. I would have went straight bitch. But that's what I was worried about. So we're moving fast. We're looking at our feet. We're kicking them out of the way. And that was before COVID. Now, after COVID, it got fucking out of control. Out of control. So now the rat situation, especially downtown, there's a couple spots downtown, but one by the river and I think a spot in Central Park. At night, it's fucking like a sea of rats. And they're trying to figure out how to fucking get rid of them. But listen, guys, that's another problem for a different day. I will do a video on it, but I'll do it in the midst of rats. I'll fucking film myself being surrounded by rats. I'm like, this is fucking bullshit. Fucking rats. I'm pretty sure. Matter of fact, nah, I would think so. Feed some rats spam. Maybe they'll die. I don't know. Whatever. You New Yorkers are idiots. Yes, we New Yorkers are idiots. But yeah, nonetheless, guys, it's a fucking problem. And there was an article just the other day that was talking about it. I was just like, what the fuck, man? But whatever. Yes, and then no, guys, this isn't Ben. I'm not gonna walk up to a rat and start talking with it and befriend it and then have it fucking beat people up for me like in the movies. Uh, or was it Willard? Willard was the other rat movie, the guy that controlled rats. No, this isn't it. These rats are on their own fucking. They march their own beat out here. They beat up fucking dogs. They're so big. And some of the rats here, guys, they're fucking like yay big, like that long. And that's not even the tail. With the tail, forget about it. Fucking long. Yes, Jerry. Rats can carry a lot of shit. So there is that. Pumpkin spice. Feed the pumpkin spice spam to the rats. It's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea at all. So the rats here in the city, guys. Thank you, deputy, for bringing that up. Rats here in the city, they're smart. They're not stupid. They will not eat rat poison. They'll they'll walk along a certain area of the wall every day. If they see something in their way, even if it looks like food, they will not touch it. And they won't touch it for a couple of days. And eventually, on like the third or fourth day, they'll touch it. Same thing goes for glue traps. They will go around the glue trap. They'll walk, they'll keep walking, walk. They'll see the glue trap and they'll look at it, they'll sniff it, and they'll go right around it. So what you do is you put the glue trap against the wall with the cover still on top. This is from a pest control guy. He says you leave the paper on top, you leave the trap there, and he says eventually and he says you put a little light powder on top. So what happens is the rat will eventually walk over the paper with the powder, and then the powder will track to let you know that it walked over it. Then when the rat's gone, you take the plastic sheeting off, the little paper off the glue side, and then you stick it there against the wall, and a rat will eventually walk across it because a rat the whole time thought it was okay. Don't give him too much on the trap. I guess, right? You got to give him like a little dab, a little dollop. But there's also the bucket thing. If you guys haven't seen that, you put like a wheel, right, or a ball on a bucket, and you put like a little plank to the bucket, and they'll try to reach for the ball, whatever it is that has like peanut butter on it, or they'll try to sniff it, and they'll fall in the bucket and they'll drown. They need to poison that kills 80% of those rats. Nice. Carl Miller, I don't know. The bubonic plague hasn't been seen, at least here. It has been seen out west. Was it the Yellowstone area, if I'm not mistaken, a couple years back. We haven't seen anything here in the city, but I'm pretty sure if we do, that's when they'll jump into action with the with killing the rats. Right now, they're trying to figure it out. I don't know what to figure it out. Get some BB guns, get a bunch of motherfuckers together, and let's just kill these things. Done, done. But they make this asinine comment. We got to figure out a way how to kill them. Step on them. Hit them with baseball bats. Shoot BB guns at them. I don't fucking get a fucking M4 and light them up. I don't know what the fucking solution is, but I know that killing them is the only solution. They're fucking rats, man. They're not people. Just fucking get rid of them. Anyway, guys, with that being said, I'm going to go off the air now. Thank you for joining me tonight. A flamethrower is even better. Anne Marie, yes, I had a rat in the house. Actually, I'll tell you a quick story before I go off. So we had a rat in the house, but I wasn't. I was at work. So I'm at work, and my wife is calling me, and I'm sitting with another guy at the firehouse. We're waiting for the next run to come in, and my wife calls, and I pick up. I'm like, "What's going on?" She's like, "There's a rat in the garbage can." I go, "And?" She goes, I said, I'm not coming home to fucking deal with that. You better deal with that shit. She's like, it's screaming in the garbage can because it fell in the garbage can and she put a lid on it. And she's like, it's screaming. I'm like, then drag the garbage can downstairs to the fucking, what you call, and get rid of it. She's like, I'm not doing that. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you, but I can't leave work. I said, call me back when you get rid of it. And I hang up. Anyway, with that, she calls me back. She goes, it escaped. I go, you fucking kidding me? Where is it? She goes, it's not in the house. I think it went back into the wall. We had a fucking gaping hole behind the sink. We found it the next day. But she was so scared. I'm like, I'm not coming home. I'm not, sorry, you're on your own. That was the one excuse I had not to fucking come home. Like a screaming rat. Yes, it was a scream. You can hear it in the background on the fucking, on the phone. You can hear the thing screaming. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? But yeah, she was like, I was like, yo, you got this. I can't help you. Godspeed. And I hung up the phone. Anyway, guys, with that being said, thank you for joining me tonight, and I'll see you guys next week.